I've been watching tape.
Okay. Yeah, you and
Don't blow
you're
it.
watching tape.
Yeah.
You're watching tape. Okay.
Big news coming on Colada show.
Speaking of,
Big flags coming.
Oh yeah, Channel might be gone tomorrow.
I think Jaden Daniels is. I think he's gonna have a really big week this week. Like I really do. I think he's gonna I think you're gonna see him sit in the pocket, sit in the pocket more. I think you're gonna see him make quicker throws. I think you're gonna see an offense that's starting to resemble the offense everybody kind of wants to see.
And
right?
it's the second week with that same O-line.
I think
That's
it's
part of- that's-
I will say this. I do think it's huge for him this week, though. I'd like to not see him play on negative game scripts. That offense that they play with there, and how it's so much about alignment and assignment, and they know what to do, and their head coach has seen everything. I'd like to see them not be playing from behind because it will be tough to play catch up with them.
No doubt. 100%. I want them to get off to a fast start, a hot start. Obviously, John Emery is back. He's not going to play the entire game, but I think that'll probably give the running back room a little bit of a jolt. Obviously, it falls on the offensive line. They have to be more consistent in their scheme and what they're trying to do.
But if John gets to the second level,
and their technique, but that's part of the offensive line. Right? The offensive line has to be good for John Emery to get to the second level, right? Yeah. I think he's going to give him a jolt. Obviously, all the receivers are there. Yeah. They're starting to play a little bit better. There's a little bit more chemistry.
Continuity.
That kind of continuity that kind of went
Their
on.
Instagrams are back.
I think they, I think they kind of realize how to play with each other. The coaching staff has realized how to call some plays for them to get them involved early. I think you're going to see a lot better team. I think you're going to see a team that's made improvements over the first 2 weeks. What?
No thoughts. What do you say they're playing like? Would you say I guess off script is one way to put it, or like negative script? Like, what do you mean by that for people that don't know? Like, couldn't be me.
Playing from behind, right? Like you
like
don't
you're
want
talking about behind the sticks or behind the
both.
points?
Behind the points. Behind the sticks, but behind the sticks.
Yeah.
Listen, we can. I mean, you don't want to play behind the sticks. It's going to be tough to kind of keep drives going if you're playing behind the sticks, but it's possible. You can do it, right? But if our defense can get on and off the field, if they can minimize drives, long drives, keep drives to 3 points, not have dudes running wide open, because those are like backbreakers, man. Those, they kind of break the spirit of what people are and where you at and stuff like that. And that the offense that they run at Mississippi State can do that to you at times, right? So if you can stay away from that, play really good assignment football, get off the field when you're supposed to get off the field. The offense gets on the field and it's not 10-0 and we're looking at 8 minutes left in the second and shit like that. That's when stuff gets tough, because when you keep having to play behind that team like that, people start trying to make up and kind of play a little hero ball, and that's not the offense to play that against. Give up another big one. That ain't the offense to play that against. So, yeah.
Go.
No, and I was going to say, because of what you've seen against Mississippi State whenever you have to play assignment football, and you saw LSU whenever they get out to – you don't want to break your defensive spirit in terms of what they have to do, because Mississippi State is going to – and I think Mikey talked about this a little bit before the show, whenever you're going crossers, like they're looking for a big play somewhere in that scheme that you're going to see a ton of the time, because they're going to stick
Well, here's the deal with the big plays. Like, the big plays are happening because they confuse the coverage. They bust the coverage, they get a crosser, and he's wide open, right? That's what happened in 2020. Was it when we played? Right? So you had guys running with 15, 20 yards of separation. They're getting 30-yard gains because nobody's around them, right? They're not gaining it. It's not like they're throwing the ball deep over the middle of the field. Now, they may throw the ball a little bit deeper on the sidelines. It's crossers and it's deep routes around the sidelines.
I'd love to see how much man they end up playing in this game.
And I think it's not going to be as much as
I don't think so either. I hope it's not either.
Which you kind of saw.
Well, they do a lot. Well, they do a lot of crossers. They do a lot of rubs. They'll mesh you all day. So, like, it's tough to play man against stuff like that, because you're going to get guys in open spaces.
Yeah, and it's tough to
play. And he knows how to teach that stuff.
Right,
too,
and it's tough to play man with a defense that hasn't played with each other for that long.
Yeah.
Right? Like, when you have a lot of
huge.
Yeah, when you have a lot
and
of
you're going to be
routes,
at home, which if you're on defense, if we're being completely honest, that's
Right.
where communication sucks, because you can't hear anything. Right? It's going to be loud.
Yeah, because
it's going to be
crowd's
rowdy.
gonna be loud, right? So I think that
LSU fans tone it down.
No.
Bring the juice.
No.
Bring all the juice.
Tone down offense, maybe, but bring the juice.
Yeah.
But I think that our defensive coordinator, he showed the last
Matt House.
Matt House, the first weekend that we played against Florida State, he used a bunch of different types of coverages, schemes on defense. He didn't just stick to man. He didn't just stick to zone. He kind of changed it up a little bit, right? Which I think is good going into this week because no matter what he did, no matter how much he changed it, the defense knew where they were supposed to be and they communicated well, right? We didn't see a lot of busted coverages. We didn't see any busted coverage, I don't think.
Well, the flea flicker got him.
Yeah, but that's
and then they had
that's
another, yeah.
But the flea flicker is like that's supposed to maybe give you a little bit of it, and it wasn't
one
like
step hezzy.
it wasn't like he was like by himself. Like he was behind the coverage, but
It wasn't post route guy took the wrong guy and now he's just running free.
yeah, he didn't fair catch a pass in the end zone, basically. You know what I mean? But I think that's going to help. I think he's equipped. These guys are equipped with the right schemes to be able to defend it. And talent-wise, I'm not worried about talent. I'm not worried about being able to stay with them talent-wise. I just, as long as you can communicate and be with them, be in the right spots, I think it'll be fine.
My only pushback would be when you saw the Florida State game, how much they gave up over the middle on 3rd and 8, 3rd and 11, 3rd and
Well, right, and that's the big adjustment that we want to see.
And this is a team that's going to thrive on that opportunity with Mississippi State. They're going to pound everything that they do. They don't take a lot of shots deep down the sidelines. They're going to want to do you up inside on whether it be like ends, mesh.
Well,
They don't
that's
throw
the
a bunch
thing.
of deep routes.
Check to see if this week if they drop that safety down in there a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Start trying to rob that area. And
Which
stuff.
is why I like to change from moving Jay Ward from free safety to
Nickel.
the nickel position, right? I think that he's going to be a game changer in this game because he's going to have more opportunities. Huh?
What?
What'd you say?
No.
What'd you say? I mean, share with the class.
Say it with your chest.
Yeah. I just said I like the fact that they switched from Jay Ward being more in the box, which I don't know how good of a tackler he is because he loves to lead with his head. He's kind of like going for the big turnover, which Cordell Flott against Mississippi State got last year. But I'm hoping that maybe he's able to wrap up a little bit more in the box if that's where you want to put him because I guess they're dependent more on Brooks to be able to communicate better. Is that what
That's what he said.
Yeah, a little bit. And Brooks has been there a little bit longer in the. What? What do you?
No, I can't say it. I can't say it on air. I can't say it.
Okay. I guess. But.
You didn't help me at all. You just
I mean, I don't know what you're saying.
Grenades, John.
Like, you
that
can't
was
be-
so mean.
You can't be telling secrets on the middle of the show when I'm part of trying to run the show. I want to know about it. You know what I mean? I'm
That
trying
was as
to.
good as I can do.
I was like, let's see if Lloyd gets out of this.
I think I did a good job.
I'm trying to do this, but I think that's a good move. I think that the communication part's key, but I think that Jay Ward is going to play better in the nickel than he did in the safety position. And leading with his head, I think it's more about the shoulder than the head. Like,
no, but he's not rapping.
He goes for the big hit.
yeah, he does. He does what a lot of people are doing now, is going for the big hit and not wrapping up. Right? They're not, being the sure tacklers, and hopefully that's the adjustment that we want to see. That's part of getting off the field. That's part of being where you need to be and doing what you need to do. So, I don't know. We'll see. I think the defensive front's going to be really good. I think problem with Mississippi State is to get the ball out quick, so it's hard to get to them. So it's going to fall a lot on the linebackers in the secondary.
Yeah.
Gotta
I'm
make
saying,
tackles in space, right?
Yeah.
You
I'm
saw
curious- I'm curious to see how much Harold gets because we saw him at that defensive end coming off the edge, not defensive end, but coming off the edge spot on Saturday. How much of that do we see again because of his speed to get to the
Well, he
quarterback,
played
or do
nickel.
they use him in coverage?
I'm telling you, I mean, you can try to blitz. It's just going to be hard to get to him consistently. Now, you get him off schedule, it makes it a little bit easier, right? Because you're going to have to be able to stay with them tight in coverages and have a little bit more coverage sacks. But if you get them back and they have to have a little bit, make the guy go down the field a little bit further, we have a lot more opportunity to get to him. So I think it's going to depend on what the game is, kind of how it's unfolding, how they're going to use him. But I think he's going to be used a lot more this game than he was the last couple.
Mississippi State feels like the ultimate. If you can get them off schedule, you feel like you kind of take control of the game offensively and defensively. Like LSU has the perfect juxtaposition between 2020 and 2021. Whenever 2020 they tried to run a ton of man, Bo Pelini had really no plan, it felt like, and they put up a career high in every offensive category maybe ever in the SEC post Joe Burrow. And then you see, all right, Durante Jones, first-time defensive coordinator at LSU, just drop 8 and see what happens, and that turned out to be a better game plan. You would hope Matt House has the ability to kind of, I don't want to say blend both, but more of like not such a vanilla strategy of like let's drop 8 And then
And I think he does, because I think that you had to learn that in the NFL, right? I think you had to learn that to be able to compete with some of the teams in the NFL. If you run one coverage in the NFL, you're going to get absolutely hammered. You know what I mean? Like, I know he wasn't the defensive coordinator, but he's still around him. He's in the rooms. He understands how this thing works. Like, he got the job for a reason. I think that he understands that.
I think coming